It is really blustery, boy. We've got a tornado watch in effect. There's some really nasty weather hitting North Florida, and we're getting the southern band. So, let's see if I can. It's very windy. Okay, I'm going to go for my walk. Look at this interesting cloud formations over here. Boy, that is windy. This feels like hurricane weather, man. Look at how breezy it is. I hear we got a tornado watch. It is very blustery here. You can hear it. You can hear the wind. Okay, it looks like they're still dropping yeast bombs. That's a pretty respectable pink sky there. Pretty respectable pink sky. Going for my walk. Brain control is really bad today. Whatever's in this bomb that they're dropping over my area, it's increasing their ability to use brain control on me. I've been bumping into things and injuring myself. Brain control is terrible. Well, I've got a headache today, and this is an interesting cloud formation. Let's go back this way. But it looks like something exploded there and just kind of like going up to the sky here. Yeah, it's crazy. Got a bit of a headache today too. They must have dropped something right over here. This would be to the southwest. There it goes. Let's go for my walk. Definitely interesting cloud formations here. That is interesting. This is the eastern sky. 29th, I believe it is. Go all the way over here, and you can see it goes like that. It definitely looks like Laurie McBride, who I believe is the new evil leader of the Jesuits, is up to her no-good hanky-panky. That is a pretty pink sky. I believe today's the 30th. Evil Angelina Ballerina Jesuits. Still causing problems. The sky for the 31st. Looks like they're still dropping bombs. It's kind of pinky, you know. It's Brent Spiner's birthday, and this is unusual. The sky is pinkish on the Orlando side, like facing towards Orlando. That's unusual. Usually this is the western sky, so looks like they're throwing bombs right over here on the western sky, as opposed, see, look at this side. This side doesn't look so bad. Look how pink it is. That's like over Orlando. Yeah, that's a pink sky there. Unusual. Usually it's over the Atlantic Ocean side, and now it's towards the northwest. That would be like over Orlando. So whoever the Jesuit leader is, who I think is Laurie McBride, she's dropping bombs over the western sky now. Can't see it too. Those cameras not picking it up. Right there. That pink sky, man. That is on the western sky, like above Orlando. It's usually not this color on the west. It's usually over the Atlantic Ocean it's pink. But today it's not pink over the Atlantic Ocean, it's pink over Orlando. This is like in the direction of Orlando. Here to the ocean side. They're not pink, but they look like bomb clouds. Something in the air that's making me cough and making my skin itch, and it's probably coming from these bomb clouds. These are over the Atlantic Ocean side. Yeah, that looks like a bomb cloud. Look how it's going from the ground up, and then everything else is clear up around it, see? So that's probably from Laurie McBride. I believe Laurie McBride is the leader of the evil Jesuits right now. Look how high that cloud is. That looks like a bomb cloud from the ground up. Look how high it is, and then everything above it, you know, just clear. I have been busy working on my book, which is patterned after Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, which is one of my favorite stories. And you know, when I first saw, this is the 1990s version of Pride and Prejudice that I'm watching right now on my television set. And it just amazes me how this all seems divinely ordained. Did you know that Pride and Prejudice was published on January the 28th, 1813 for the first time? So I said, Lord, this is amazing. You know, it was funny. I was sleeping and I had a dream where Jesus, I guess Jesus gave it to me, and he was saying, Gail, you need to tell your story like Pride and Prejudice. If you don't, Satan's going to win. You've got to get your life story out there. And you know, I've never really told my story yet. I wrote The Forbidden Abyss Part 1, and that's basically Brent Spiner's story and Vladimir Putin's story. And I didn't really go deep into me, into my viewpoint. I mostly went inside Brent Spiner's heart and mind. And Jesus the Eternal Bridegroom is Brent Spiner's story. So I told his story. A lot of people have said, Gail, do you have a book about yourself? And I'm writing it now. But I've decided to also make it the memoir about Zach Knight. Because believe it or not, Zach Knight and I have a lot in common. And I will be pointing that out. So what was so amazing is I just, it's like God's been giving me dreams. And then I wake up in the morning and he gives me insights. Gail, this is how you need to write your book. I've actually started this book about a year ago. I've gone through about 10 different outlines where I've written the outline, and then I was thinking, this isn't quite the direction I want to go in. It was like the story wasn't quite there yet. And so let me see if I can lower this a little bit. This new television that I got is such a blessing. It's helping me to watch this movie, and it's going to help me with my writing. So thank you to my Patreon fan who's giving me financial support so I can watch Pride and Prejudice with a crystal clear picture. I have, you know, the video. I've got the video. So I bought this when I worked at Walmart. So I got the video, and I also have the 2005 version with you know, Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. So I've got that one too. That would be where did I put it, Lord? Anyways, I got it. Just take my word for it. I got it on DVD. So, you know, I'm not disobeying the Gail commandments. I don't have to buy the movie because I've got it. I'm watching it right now. I don't have to buy the book because I've got it. And when I read a story, I prefer to read it first in paper. And then I'm not really into audiobooks. I know some people are. And then I like to watch a good movie adaptation of the book. And I've got them right here. I love this version put out by the BBC. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. This one is truer to the book than the 2005 movie with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadden. But that's a good movie too. So I'm not going to knock it. So anyways, I was studying it, and if you check the links underneath this video, you will see how it's so bizarre. I said, good Lord, it's like my life is Pride and Prejudice. I'm like Lizzie. Brent Spiner's like Mr. Darcy. Zach Knight is a combination of characters, but he's a lot like, and this is going to seem hard to believe for people who know Zach Knight, but he's a lot like the Jane Bennett's love interest. Jane Bennett is like a type of Rule 13. My ex-husband is like Mr. Lucas, not Mr. Lucas. Yes, Sir William Lucas. He's kind of like a combination of him and the that young officer who ends up going off and having an affair with her younger sister. He's kind of like a combination of both. And so I've got all the real life important. My mother is so much like Lizzie Bennett's mother. Kind of, you know, hard to live with, you know, I mean, my mother's hard to live with, and I see so many parallels. And then I have a younger sister who has almost ruined my life, and that's what happened in Pride and Prejudice. Lizzie has a younger sister who almost ruins everything for the family. And then I've got, and then I actually was very hard to get with Brent Spiner. At the beginning of the relationship, I thought he was, for a period in the 1990s, I thought Brent Spiner was a high-class snob who basically took advantage of me and was more concerned about his reputation than being a just and loving person. And so I was calling him out, saying, for a while in 1990, I said, don't you even dare think romantic about me, Brent. If you do, you will you will make me want to vomit. So don't even think of that. I said, I right now, just the thought of making love to you would just make me want to be sick. That's what I told him. So I was like Lizzie, and he was in love with me the whole time. And so what I'm going to be doing is telling my story and bringing all this out, and how somebody like me, with the dreams that I had as a youth, was able to drop my pride. I was very self-righteous. I mean, really self-righteous. I thought going to the Hollywood movies was a sin. If a woman wore pants, it was considered the attire of a man. That was a sin. You were not to wear pants. You would never show your cleavage. You would, and I was a beautiful young lady, but I hated it when guys whistled at me. I was a virgin when I married my husband, which was not easy, and I was really proud of that. So anyways, I'm just going to show how I evolved, or I came of age as a young lady, so that I got to the point in my life where I recognized who Brent Spiner really was, and then that just changed me. And it changed me as a person too. And we're going to have like a parallel plot line going with Zach Knight, and I'm going to bring him in about maybe 1/4 of the way into the story, and start showing his childhood and how it kind of paralleled mine, but we went in different directions. And so anyways, this is going to be, check the links underneath my page, check my writer page. I believe, I mean, I've already won a Nobel Prize in Literature, but I think when I'm finished with this coming of age memoir, it's going to be my best work yet, and I may really get the Nobel Prize this time. I am so excited about this. I think, you know, when Jane Austen wrote Pride and Prejudice, she wasn't real famous during her lifetime as a writer, and she got more famous after she died. I think that's the kind of writer I'm going to be. But I think I am in the midst of writing a literary masterpiece, and I think it's going to be very interesting. People will really understand me, and if you want to get my life story, that's what's coming in. It's basically my life story and Zach Knight's life story, and it goes really deep into our hearts. It's kind of like Pride and Prejudice. Check the links underneath this page. I forgot to mention, Pride and Prejudice was published for the first time January 28, 1813. And guess when the Lord gave me the new outline for my book so that I would pattern it after Pride and Prejudice? It was on January the 28th. 28th. He gave it to me on January the 28th, exactly 204 years after the publication of Pride and Prejudice. And what's even more strange, it was in 2013 when I decided I would devote myself almost full-time to writing. And 2013 was the 200-year anniversary of Pride and Prejudice. So this is pretty uncanny timing here. And it's like my whole life is Pride and Prejudice. It's like God had Jane Austen write this book just for me. It's making it really helping me to structure my current work in progress. So January 28th, Pride and Prejudice was published, and January 28th is when the Lord gave me the outline for my current work in progress, when I revamped it and patterned it after Pride and Prejudice on January the 28th. You say that's such a coincidence. I don't think so. I sense that God has orchestrated my entire life to be Pride and Prejudice, and he had Jane Austen write that book just for me.